Madam Chair, before we get into the substance here, I've got a simple question. What the hell are Republicans so afraid of? What the hell are you so scared of that you guys are holding this hearing at 1 o'clock in the morning? It's a simple question that speaks to the heart of what's going on here, and one that I'm going to keep on asking. If Republicans are so proud of what is in this bill, then why are you trying to ram it through in the dead of night? If you guys are so proud to kick 14 million people off Medicaid, if you guys are so proud to rip food assistance out of the refrigerators of moms and dads and their kids, if you guys are so proud of shutting down rural hospitals and hurting our farmers, if you guys really think these are such great, awesome, beautiful things to do, like Trump keeps saying.
It has been a difficult couple of weeks for Marjorie Taylor Greene. Not only has she been consistently humiliated before Congress, but she was humiliated by her best buddy Donald Trump, of course, calling her, in a message that eventually leaked saying, "Please do not run for Senate. Not only are you an atrocious human being, you are a terrible candidate." But it just got worse because a video has just come out of Marjorie Taylor Greene's boyfriend having a very shocking and scary meltdown calling for arrests and attacks on Democrats. We're going to get into it all and how it is backfiring. But before we do, if I could quickly ask you to leave a like on this video, and if you haven't already and you enjoy our channel, to hit that subscribe button. It goes a long way, and it really does mean a lot to me. Now, before we get into Marjorie Taylor Greene's boyfriend just completely melting down, I want to start with some real criminals who need to be called out. And that happened from Senator Elizabeth Warren right here.
I sent you the statute. You've had 3 weeks to talk to the lawyers about it. So let's jump in. Mr. Long, is it illegal for the president to direct the IRS to revoke a taxpayer's nonprofit status?
In the first place, he wouldn't do that. He's not going to come to me and say that.
That's not my question, Mr. Long. Please don't start down this.
Are we on section 7212 or 7217?
I'm at 26 U.S.C. 7217. Do I need to read it to you?
Prohibits any member of the executive branch to request the IRS to conduct or terminate an audit on a taxpayer. All
righty. So is it illegal?
I'm going to follow the law, and if that's the law, yes.
Okay, but I want you, that is the law.
Yeah.
So I just want to be clear. Is it illegal for the President of the United States to instruct the IRS to remove a taxpayer's nonprofit status?
Prohibits any member of the executive branch to request the IRS to conduct or terminate an audit of the taxpayer.
Right. Is that a yes?
I'd have to go to the lawyers at the IRS to tell me.
No, come on. You just read it.
I know, but I don't see the instance that you're speaking about in there. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't see.
Look, it says it shall be unlawful for any applicable person, which in this case includes the president, to request directly or indirectly any officer or employee of the Internal Revenue Service to conduct or terminate an audit or other investigation of any particular taxpayer. Is it illegal for the president to instruct the IRS to remove nonprofit status from a taxpayer?
I'm not going to have the answer that you need, and I apologize, but like I said...
Why are you not having the answer? You've had 3 weeks to consult with lawyers. The statute is about as clear as plain English.
Well, if I say I'm going to follow the law, why would you need to ask me the question?
Well, because I want to make sure that you understand what the law says. If you think follow the law means you just get to make it up on the spot, then, Bud, you don't get to be the IRS commissioner.
I said I would.
The point here is to follow the law as it is written, and I'm asking what I think is a pretty simple question. Can the President of the United States legally tell the IRS to change someone's nonprofit status?
I'm not able to answer.
You can't read these words and tell what those words say?
I can read the statute, and I did.
All right,
To
then
me,
tell me what they mean.
Donald Trump ran a victim complex presidential campaign in which he exclusively talked about how the Justice Department or the federal government at large, the judicial system, was being weaponized against him. But now he's trying to weaponize every part of the federal government to go after his political opponents. The criminal is breaking our laws to go after people who tried to hold him accountable for his crimes. That's what's going on right now. But still, in light of that, Republicans are losing their minds. And of course, the most extreme of them are having the most extreme reactions. And that's what we saw from Marjorie Taylor Greene's boyfriend, Brian Glenn, who had this meltdown in an insane interview. Take a look.
People are angry. You know, forget about the big, beautiful bill. People want big, beautiful handcuffs on some of these people because for far too long we saw Thomas Crooks took a shot at Trump in the head. He's dead. We don't know any more about that. Ryan Roof tried to shoot Trump on a golf course. We still haven't seen a trial on that. And then James Comey comes out and says, 86-47. And what do? He takes it down, he gets the #1 book, and we move along. I'm very disappointed in the progress in all of this. I have very little hope we'll have any accountability for what you're seeing right now.
Well, you keep talking about those big, beautiful handcuffs, Brian, because I agree with you 1,000%. Got your back on this one, Brian Glenn. Thank you for being here.
Thanks, Brian. Thank you.
It's time to get the handcuffs out. First of all, I don't want to know what you and Marjorie Taylor Greene do. I'm sorry if I put that image in your head, I take that back. Even though it's a little funny. But we're getting the handcuffs out for who the oversight being done by New Jersey, elected officials, congressional Democrats in New Jersey, visiting an icy detention center with mass thugs walking around, refusing to identify themselves. Of course, we need oversight. Republicans hate making government work so much that they think doing oversight in your district should be a crime. That is how bad Republicans are at managing government very clearly. These are people who say government doesn't work. Elect me. And then they show how they can break government. But of course, government can work. If it doesn't just work for billionaires, but that's what MAGA wants, and that's what we have to call out. And that was certainly done by someone who we love on this show. You're going to want to check all this out. It's Congressman Jim McGovern right here.
I think what you're talking about is not what we're talking about here today. We're talking about the Republican reconciliation package that is going to be jammed through this committee and rush to the floor. And if I'm understanding the numbers correctly, the latest version of their tax scam, the top 0.1% stand to gain $255,000 on average in 2027 alone. That's $700 a day, every day. The people who make over $1 million a year will also get their pockets lined. On average, these millionaires will have an additional $81,500 per year, but pennies for everybody else. For those earning less than $50,000 per year, the average benefit is $265. That's less than $1 per day, and that's laughable when you begin to look at the gaps that are going to be created by these cuts in other programs. But, Mr. Boyle, I have a letter here that you received along with the Democratic leader, Hakeem Jeffries, from the director of the Congressional Budget Office, and I'm looking at this chart here about who benefits from this bill. It doesn't seem to match what Chairwoman Fox and Mr. Arrington are just talking about right now. You want to comment on this?
What that chart shows, and by the way, that's not my chart.
Yeah, I know.
That's not your chart.
CBO's.
That is the official scorekeeper's chart, the nonpartisan Congressional Budget Office. And if you can show that chart again, what it shows is the poor get poorer while the rich get richer. And so let me quote again from the CBO, specifically their numbers. For people in the bottom 10%, they will experience a 4% loss of household wealth. Meanwhile, for people in the top 10%, they will see their household resources increase by 2%. It is as simple as that.
And I ask unanimous consent that this be entered into the record, Madam Chair.
Without objection.
My view on legislation is that if you believe in the legislation, you ought to vote for it. If you don't believe in it, you ought to vote against it.
Stealing food off the plates of children so Elon Musk can be worth a couple more, Bill. Well, we talked about this in a previous episode. The peanut formula, those little peanut pouches that are distributed all across the world to keep children from starving that have been cut off by USAID. How much money is that saving? And why don't we want to spend it? I'm much happier to spend it on that than, Elon Musk rockets to nowhere that explode before they get off the launch pad, or for him to get, Christine Noom, a nicer plane, Donald Trump to go golfing at his own clubs. Those are more worthwhile expenditures than making sure kids don't starve millions who may lose their lives because of Elon Musk. It's gross. That's what this budget bill is. It's just gross, and it is inherently un-American what they're trying to do. Jim McGovern had more to say on that right here.
Madam Chair, before we get into the substance here, I've got a simple question. What the hell are Republicans so afraid of? What the hell are you so scared of that you guys are holding this hearing at 1 o'clock in the morning? It's a simple question that speaks to the heart of what's going on here, and one that I'm going to keep on asking. If Republicans are so proud of what is in this bill, then why are you trying to ram it through in the dead of night? If you guys are so proud to kick 14 million people off Medicaid, if you guys are so proud to rip food assistance out of the refrigerators of moms and dads and their kids, if you guys are so proud of shutting down rural hospitals and hurting our farmers, if you guys really think these are such great, awesome, beautiful things to do, like Trump keeps saying, then why not hold this hearing at 1 p.m. and not 1 a.m.? Why not debate this bill in prime time when most of the American people can watch? It's 1 o'clock in the morning. I think it's prime time in Guam.
You know how Republicans for the longest time claimed that Democrats were unpatriotic? They hated this country. Any effort we took to make progressive change was viewed by them, by the folks at Fox News as un-American, unpatriotic. What Republicans are doing right now to destroy our American values is unpatriotic. Destroy how America is perceived on the global stage is unpatriotic. That's what they're doing. And I think we should talk about it exactly that way. And we're going to on this show every single day. And if you want to support that, as always, you can hit that subscribe button, leave a like on this video, and if you stuck around to the end, drop a blue heart in the comments. And until next time, I'll see you soon.